The World Junior Championships, something everyone loves to watch and enjoy over the Christmas holidays. And to hockey fans all around the world, this is like a second Christmas for us. We get to watch some of the world's best young players compete for a gold medal for their respective countries in one of the most electrifying hockey tournaments in the world. Since it's becoming that time of year again, I thought I would do a video about this upcoming World Junior Championships in Czech Republic. And since my YouTube channel is based off of goaltending and goaltending information, I thought I would look at each team's goaltending for this upcoming WJC. While I'll also have my final WJC predictions for the gold, silver, and bronze medals as well as relegation round at the end of this video. I am super pumped to see how Yaroslav Askarov, a top prospect for this coming draft in the NHL, and see how he does with Team Russia, because he's known for coming up clutch late in games and having huge performances when it matters, so I'm very interested in him. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, starting off with my home country, Canada, we have Oliver Rodriguez, Nico Daws, and Joel Hofer. I think this is a very interesting year goaltending-wise for Canada because it's kind of their weakness, because last year they had Mikey DiPietro, who was very solid for them, and in past years they've had Carter Hart, amazing goalie prospects, but this year there's a lack of that. I'm going to assume Rodriguez gets the starting role for Canada. He was a 2018 second-round pick by the Edmonton Oilers, and in the QMJHL he's a .907 save percentage, which you would say it's not that great, but you got to remember it's the QMJHL. It's one of the higher scoring junior leagues out there, so you got to remember that too. And also, I think you just got to go with Oliver Rodriguez as the starter just because he has a higher profile than the other guys, plus he's older than them, and just has more experience in general. Now for the number 2 position, you'll notice that I both have Nico Daws and Joel Hofer as number 2 goalies, and that is because I really can't pick between them. And both of them are having very solid years in their respective leagues. Nico Daws has a .939 save percentage in the OHL in 20 games, and Hofer has a .937 save percentage in the WHL in 27 games. Both ridiculous numbers. I put both at the number 2 spot because I think Canada will rotate between them as the backup to Rodriguez, and one of them might be able to steal the starting job from him too. I think out of any of these 3 goalies, they could all be the starter if they really want to, but we'll definitely find out after the round robin ends. Moving on to Canada's rival, Team USA, with Spencer Knight, Dustin Wolf, and Isaiah Saville. Now, right off the bat, USA has a top 3 goalie tandem in the World Junior Championships this year, with Spencer Knight and Dustin Wolf likely as the backup goalie. Obviously, Spencer Knight would be the number 1 for Team USA. He was a 13th overall pick in this past year's draft by the Florida Panthers, and he's having an incredible season in college hockey, putting up a .940 save percentage and a 1.73 goals against in 15 games played, so he's definitely the number 1. For the backup spot, I definitely got Dustin Wolf. He's having a great season with Everett of the WHL having a .941 save percentage in 24 games played. He somehow fell to the 7th round in this past year's draft. I really don't know how that happened. Calgary got a steal, and he's having a great season, which is interesting too because he's an American playing in the WHL, which is a mainly Canadian league. As the 3rd goalie, I have Isaiah Saville. He was, I believe, a late round pick by Vegas in, I believe it was 2018. And he's not having the best season in the NCAA this year. He has an .889 save percentage in 14 games played. I'm pretty sure he was off to a really good start to this year, and then he's kind of just fallen apart from what I've seen. Shout out to Gravite. I watched his video for his roster predictions for Canada, USA, and some other countries like that, and he had Saville as USA starter, and I don't really know why, because he doesn't have the great stats to show it. Now we're at Team Russia with future superstar Yaroslav Askarov, Danil Isayev, and Amir Miftakov. I'll have trouble saying that. Anywho, Yaroslav Askarov is looking to be Team Russia's starting goalie. He has a .922 save percentage in the VHL, which is a league below the KHL, so it's basically the second best pro league in Russia. And he also got into one KHL game as a 17-year-old, which is kind of ridiculous. Only gave up 2 goals in that. He's for sure going to be the starter for Team Russia. Now these next 2 guys, I was kind of debating for a little bit. I've never even heard of them before, but they're both having fine seasons in the VHL as well, with Isayev putting up a .923 save percentage and Miftakov putting up a .914 save percentage. But I had to go with Isayev, higher save percentage. Sure, it was less games played, and Miftakov even has a better goals against, but save percentage is a key stat here. I'm sorry if I have this wrong. Maybe Russia will switch this around, because now I'm going to get a bit less educated as we move into the European teams. But honestly, it seems like Isayev and Miftakov both are having fine seasons, and they could both challenge for the backup spot behind Askarov. Now moving on to the reigning WJC champions, Team Finland, with Justice Ennunen, Kari Pirinen, and Jasper Patrikainen. Looking at the numbers here, Ennunen is definitely going to be the starter. Like, look at that numbers! 947 save percentage in the top Finnish league, which is the Liga. That's insane. A 1.26 goals against average in 13 games played. Plus, he's the only drafted goalie into the NHL on Team Finland's roster, for goalies anyways. So, he's definitely going to be their starter, which, he could be very good. And a lot of people probably underrate him, not gonna lie. Now, I'm very torn for the backup position for Finland because, it's not looking that good. Pirinen is not having a very good season in the OHL. Mind you, I don't believe the Windsor Spitfires are doing very good in the OHL right now. And Patrikainen is playing in the second best league in Finland, which is the Mesti. However you want to say that, but he only has an 892 save percentage in that. Pirinen has an 882. They both seem underwhelming, so I don't really know who to pick here. Now that I'm looking at his name, it might be Kari Pirinen instead of Pirinen, because, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But anyways, I kind of just decided to put Patrikainen and Pirinen, both. They could be fighting for the backup position. I guess, Finland will probably use them both in the round robin, and then we'll take it from there and see who wins the backup job, even if they don't really play at all after the round robin. Continuing with the Scandinavian theme, here's Team Sweden, with Eric Portillo, Hugo Took me a second there, but Hugo Alnefelt, that's how I'm gonna say his name, and Jesper Eliasson. All 3 of these guys have been drafted into the NHL, so that might give Sweden a bit of an advantage. I was kind of torn on putting Alnefelt or Portillo as Sweden's starter. Both were drafted about the same spot. Both were 2019 third-round picks. Portillo went, I think, 4 or 5 spots higher, and Portillo's having a pretty decent season playing in the USHL as an import in the States. And Alnefelt is also having a good season in Sweden's top pro league, the Swedish Hockey League, but he's only played 8 games. While Alnefelt does have a 920 save percentage and a 1.95 goals against average, I had to go with Portillo as Sweden's starter just because of the game difference. Portillo's played more games this year, and honestly, Portillo's stats were pretty much on par with Alnefelt's as well. And then for the backup spot, there really wasn't much competition between Alnefelt and Eliasson. Alnefelt had great stats. Eliasson had okay stats, 906 save percentage in Sweden's second highest pro league, the Allsvenskan, but he's just not as good as Alnefelt, so I put him as the third goalie. Moving on to the Czech Republic now, it's interesting because they're the only team to have 4 goaltenders according to EliteProspects.com, which, by the way, yes, that is what I used for every single roster for this video. They carried 4 goalies. I don't know if they're going to keep 4 goalies, considering one of them does not have very good stats. Yes, I am looking at you, Jan Bednar. Anyways, the number 1 role for Team Czech Republic is for sure going to Lukas Dostal. I used to think he was going to be a legit starter in the NHL someday. He hasn't really done anything to show that, if you know what I mean. Like, I thought he would be better than he is at this point. He's in his last year of WJC eligibility. He's having a good year in the Liga, but I was kind of expecting more from him from this point. But nonetheless, he will be the starter, a 923 save percentage in 23 Liga games. That is pretty damn good if you ask me. For the backup job, I definitely have to go with Lukas, an LA draft pick. In 13 WHL games, he has a 2.59 goals against average and a .914 save percentage. Pretty solid numbers. And if you look at the third guy I have, Nick Malik, who's actually the son of Merrick Malik, which, you know, that incredible between the legs shootout goal, if anyone remembers that. He has a 928 save percentage in 17 games, but he's in the Czech 2 league, which I believe it's one of the junior leagues in Czech Republic, but it's way behind what the WHL is in terms of skill level. So I think Lukas or Parik, however you want to say it, is definitely a better goalie, but I still think Malik is good enough for the third spot on Czech Republic. And I don't really know why they still have Jan Bednar on the team. He has an 839 save percentage in the Czech 2 league, same league as Malik, who has a 928 save percentage. Maybe it's my fault for not looking more into this. Maybe he's on like a really bad team. I might give him the benefit of the doubt here, but still, that's really not a good save percentage at all. And I don't know if Czech Republic's even going to keep him up until the start of the World Juniors. He might get cut since he is probably the worst goalie out of these four. Continuing over to Team Slovakia with Samuel Lavage, Jakub Lakovic, and Samuel Vilatelka. I went with Samuel Lavage, who's an undrafted goalie, as Team Slovakia's starter in the QMJHL in 22 games played. He's a 2.14 goals against average and a nice 925 save percentage. That's pretty darn good for a high-scoring junior league like the QMJHL. He has better numbers than Oliver Rodriguez. For the backup spot, I went with Jakub Lakovic, who's also undrafted. He's also having a pretty decent season. I wouldn't say as good as Lavage because he's not quite as good of a league as Lavage, but nonetheless, playing for Slovakia under 20 in 19 games played, he's a 2.56 goals against average, which is pretty decent, and also a .925 save percentage, which is also good. And as the third goalie, I have Vilatelka. He is also undrafted like the previous two. Playing in the NAHL, he has a .913 save percentage, which is pretty decent. But I'd say guys like Lakovic and Lavage have a head up on this guy. You mean you never know, they all seem like pretty even goaltenders, so maybe Vilatelka could steal the backup job or the starter job. I don't know. Could be unpredictable. We'll see. Also, I just realized I just changed the pronunciation of Vilatelka's name from that to Vilatelka. Moving on to Team Switzerland, we have Luca Hollenstein, Akira Schmid, and Stefan Charlin. Now, Schmid did get drafted by the New Jersey Devils, I believe it was 2018, I may be wrong, so don't attack me in the comment section if I'm wrong, please. But I do have Hollenstein as the starter in 8 games played in the NLA. He has a 928 save percentage, which is really good. And plus, I think Switzerland's going to go back to him. He was their starter last year. He actually had a pretty decent World Juniors last year. So they're going to keep him as the starter, which means Schmid will be the backup, I think, over Charlin. Schmid just has slightly better numbers in the USHL over Charlin, who's playing in the NLB, which I'm not really sure what that league is. But I do know that it's not as good as the USHL, so Schmid would be number 2, and then Charlin would be number 3, an undrafted goalie. Even though Schmid has an 891 save percentage, Charlin isn't any better with an 887 save percentage. So, those are the Switzerland goaltenders. Moving on to the second last team in this video, we have Team Germany with Tobias Anclcka, Hendrik Hein, and Philipp Maurer. So I have Anclcka as Team Germany's starter. He is a .918 save percentage and a 2.35 goals against average in 17 games played in the Junior A SM Liga, which I'm assuming is either like a semi-pro league for the Liga or like the top junior league, which is probably the more likely scenario for the Liga. I'm sorry, I don't know a whole lot about some of the European league systems. And then as the backup, I have Hendrik Hane. He has 4 games played in the DEL, which is the top German league, posting a .914 save percentage. He's going to take the backup spot. I think he just has better numbers, than Philipp Marrer, who's playing the DNL under 20, so I'm assuming that's another German junior league. A 2.07 goals against average, but only an .896 save percentage, so he's going to be the third goalie. Hendrik Hane is the second goalie, and Tobias Anclcka is going to be Germany's starter, I think. Now we have arrived at our final team, Team Kazakhstan, who for the first time in, I believe, over a decade, are in the World Juniors back-to-back years, at least the top division of the World Juniors, after they avoided relegation last year by defeating Denmark in the relegation round. So I think the starting goalie for Team Kazakhstan this time around is going to be Vladislav Nurek. Yes, I did a typo. It's supposed to be an L instead of a K there. I'm sorry, guys. He's obviously undrafted. He's playing in the MHL, which is the top Russian junior league, and he has a .909 save percentage, a 2.95 goals against in 36 games played, which is pretty decent. And the backup is Roman Kalmyakov, also undrafted, also playing in the MHL. He also has a .909 save percentage, but the difference is he's played less games, and he only has a 3.21 goals against average versus Nurek's 2.95. So I made Kalmyakov the backup. It was pretty easy to pick those two as starter and backup over Pavlenko, who's a 2020 draft eligible, I believe, but terrible stats, a 4.7 goals against average in the MHL and an .838 save percentage. Nothing to be proud of there. It was a pretty easy choice to put him as the third goalie for Kazakhstan. So now we're at the end of the video, and I'm sure all of you guys have been waiting for this. As they say, save the best for last. My 2020 World Junior Championship predictions. So first off, I think on paper the favorite to win as of right now is Team USA for sure. They have stacked everything. They're just insane. But I have them going to the gold medal game versus Russia, but I think they're going to get upset by Russia. Russia's going to win the game 4-2, and I think Yaroslav Askarov is really going to steal the show and help Russia capture the gold medal. That leaves Team USA getting the silver medal, and I think after a very disappointing quarterfinal loss to Finland last year, Team Canada will get a medal this time, defeating Team Sweden 5-3 in the bronze medal games. That means Canada gets the bronze medal. And then I think in relegation, it'll be Germany versus Kazakhstan. So that is the bottom team in Group A and the bottom team in Group B facing off in a relegation round. I think Germany's going to win it 4-0 over Kazakhstan. And Kazakhstan will get relegated for next year, and Germany will avoid relegation and stay in the World Junior Championships for 2021. Just for fun, I'll say that the best goalie award will go to Yaroslav Askarov, just because of his ability to carry Russia to gold. So that just about wraps things up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yes, I know I've been uploading less frequently. I'm sorry about that. I thought I'd make this video because you guys deserved a longer video, because why not? It's about Christmas time. It's the days of giving, so I might as well give to you guys a longer video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at goalie_hub. I post content that is more in depth, I guess you could say, than my YouTube channel, and more often there than my YouTube channel. And also don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the little bell, turn on post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video, which will hopefully be more frequently now. I'll try to be uploading more frequently, but anyway guys, that's about it. Comment down below who you think will win the 2020 World Junior Championships, and I know I'll be sitting on my couch all Christmas break watching it with very much excitement. Go Canada!